In a world already on edge, Ghana's president has just made a historic decision that is sending shockwaves through military bases and diplomatic circles across the globe. In an unprecedented move, he has announced that Ghana will no longer support or participate in U.S. military operations worldwide. What led to this sudden and decisive action? What hidden motives and untold pressures pushed Ghana's leadership to take such a bold stand? Stay with us, because today we're breaking down exactly what happened, why it matters, and how this one decision could change the balance of global power. Just days ago, in a televised address that stunned both allies and critics, Ghana's president stood before the nation and declared, "Ghana will no longer be complicit in foreign military operations that compromise our sovereignty, risk our stability, and endanger the future of our continent. We stand for peace, dignity, and the self-determination of our people." The statement was clear, firm, unapologetic. Almost immediately, reactions began pouring in. Washington expressed deep disappointment and concern. European allies warned of economic and diplomatic consequences, but across Africa, many citizens celebrated this as a powerful stand for independence. This moment is more than just a policy change. It is a symbol of Africa's rising determination to chart its own path. To understand why Ghana took this extraordinary step, we need to look deeper. For years, many African nations have hosted U.S. military operations under the promise of security and development aid. But critics say these arrangements have often brought more risk than reward, exposing countries to terrorism, undermining regional peace, and fueling resentment. Sources close to Ghana's administration report that recent intelligence revealed foreign surveillance activities and unapproved operations on Ghanaian soil. According to insiders, this was the final straw. Ghana's leaders decided it was time to defend their sovereignty, no matter the cost. And that message has resonated across the continent. Africa is no longer willing to be a silent participant in someone else's battles. What does this mean for the world? Experts say Ghana's decision could inspire a wave of similar actions in neighboring countries. Some governments are already reconsidering their defense agreements with foreign powers. This move could white heavy checkmark redefine how Africa engages with the US and Europe. White heavy checkmark weaken America's strategic presence across West Africa. White heavy checkmark accelerate Africa's push toward regional security alliances and Pan-African cooperation. It also raises big questions. Will the US retaliate economically? Can Ghana withstand the pressure? And will this spark a broader movement toward true African self-determination? One thing is clear: history is being made. If you believe Africa deserves the right to make its own decisions free from foreign pressure, if you support Ghana's courage to stand up for sovereignty and dignity, then this is your moment to be part of a powerful movement. Backhand index pointing right. Smash the like button to support real journalism about Africa. Backhand index pointing right. Subscribe to stay updated on every twist and turn of this unfolding story. Backhand index pointing right. Share this video with your friends, because the world needs to see that Africa is rising, proud, independent, and unafraid.
Welcome to African Spotlight 24, your premier source for news and current affairs from across the continent. We're glad you're here. If you're new to our channel, please subscribe, like, and turn on notification to stay up to date with the latest news and analysis. Your support helps us reach more people. Disclaimer: the content of this video is based on credible, publicly available information and is intended for educational, analytical, and informational purposes only. African Spotlight 24 does not promote hate, violence, misinformation, or political unrest. Our goal is to deliver thoughtful insights, highlight local voices, and encourage informed conversations throughout Africa.
Breaking news. In a stunning turn of events that reverberates across West Africa and beyond, Ghana has decided to close all U.S. military bases on its soil. This momentous choice marks the end of a significant chapter in Ghana's history and raises profound questions about sovereignty, foreign influence, and the evolving geopolitical landscape. Join us as we delve into the compelling reasons behind this pivotal decision. But before we dive into the heart of the matter, we urge you to show your support by hitting that like button. Your engagement is our driving force, and we're committed to delivering the insights you crave. Let's embark on this journey together. Ghana, often hailed as the beacon of democracy in Africa, has historically played a pivotal role in promoting peace and stability within the region. However, in recent times, a growing sentiment among the populace has been calling for a revaluation of the country's relationship with the United States, which includes the presence of several American military bases on Ghanaian territory. The catalyst for this growing sentiment can be traced back to the controversial passage of the Ghana Investment Promotion Act in November 2021. This legislation introduced stringent measures that would effectively ban multinational corporations from engaging in small-scale mining. The rationale behind this move was to curb illegal mining activities, commonly known as galamsey, which have had detrimental effects on the environment and the economy. While the law's intentions were noble, its implications sent shockwaves through the business community. One of the most vocal critics of this legislation was none other than Ghana's former president, John Dramani Mahama. At the time, he expressed his reservations, arguing that the law's ambiguous provisions could be exploited to target foreign investors while exempting local businesses. Fast forward to March 2024, and history has come full circle as Mahama has now ascended to the presidency once again. In a dramatic turn of events, President Mahama has made an announcement that has sent ripples across the nation and the international stage. During his inauguration, he declared that his administration would take proactive steps to close all U.S. military bases in Ghana by the year's end. This resolute stance reflects a significant shift in foreign policy that prioritizes national sovereignty and self-reliance. President Mahama's decision is not born out of a desire to isolate Ghana on the world stage, but rather stems from a commitment to fostering genuine partnerships based on mutual respect and shared interests. This approach signifies a departure from the country's previous reliance on foreign military bases, which have often been perceived as symbols of neocolonialism and foreign interference. It's important to note that this move is not entirely unprecedented. During the administration of former President Jerry Rawlings in the late 1970s and 80s, similar sentiments were echoed when Ghana expelled expatriate miners and other foreign nationals in an effort to prioritize national interest and resource management. Ghana's decision to close U.S. military bases resonates with a broader Pan-African sentiment that calls for African countries to exercise greater control over their natural resources and strategic assets. By taking this bold step, Ghana stands as a symbol of African agency and self-determination on the global stage. The presence of U.S. military bases in Ghana has long been a subject of public debate and scrutiny. These bases, including the U.S. Africa Command AFRICOM headquarters, have raised concerns among some segments of the population who view them as symbols of neocolonialism and foreign interference. The perception is that these bases serve as a means for the United States to exert undue influence on Ghana and other African nations, shaping their policies and decisions according to their own interests. Furthermore, the bases have been associated with human rights violations and questionable military activities, which have eroded public trust and fueled anti-American sentiments. One such incident involved the alleged mistreatment of detainees at the hands of U.S. soldiers stationed at the Kaderk base in Germany. Reports of torture, abuse, and extrajudicial killings carried out by U.S. military personnel stationed at the base have raised serious ethical and legal questions. These allegations have not only damaged the reputation of the U.S. military, but have also strained relations between Ghana and the United States. Despite these concerns, the U.S. government has maintained that the bases are crucial for counterterrorism efforts, regional stability, and the promotion of democracy and human rights. They argue that their military presence helps to address security challenges, provide humanitarian assistance, and foster closer ties with African partners. However, as public outcry grows louder, it remains to be seen whether the U.S. will reconsider its military operations in Ghana and other African nations. The decision to close U.S. military bases in Ghana marks a significant turning point in Ghana's foreign policy and its relationship with the United States. This move is likely to send shock waves throughout the region and raise questions about the future of U.S. military presence in Africa. As Ghana takes this bold step towards prioritizing its national interests, It sets an example for other African countries to reevaluate their own foreign partnerships and assert their sovereignty on the continent. However, it's important to acknowledge that this decision may not be without its challenges. Ghana has historically relied on the United States for military support and cooperation in various peacekeeping missions and counterterrorism efforts. The withdrawal of U.S. military bases could potentially impact these operations and strain security cooperation between the two countries. Additionally, closing the bases may lead to uncertainty and instability in the region, raising concerns about the potential consequences for regional security and peace. Nevertheless, Ghana's firm resolve to prioritize its national interests and protect its sovereignty should be commended. By taking this bold step, Ghana asserts its independence from external influences and demonstrates its commitment to charting its own course in international affairs. It serves as a reminder that African nations are not passive recipients of foreign policy, but active participants capable of shaping their own destinies. Furthermore, the decision to close the bases aligns with the broader Pan-African sentiment that calls for African countries to take control of their natural resources and strategic assets. By doing so, Ghana sends a clear message that it will no longer tolerate foreign exploitation and is committed to safeguarding its national interests. Moreover, this move opens the door for Ghana to explore new partnerships and alliances that prioritize mutual respect and shared interests. Rather than being confined to the shadow of U.S. influence, Ghana can now forge its own path in diplomacy, seeking collaboration with countries and organizations that align with its values and aspirations. However, as Ghana navigates this uncharted territory, it's essential to proceed with caution and foresight. The decision to close the bases should be accompanied by a comprehensive strategy that addresses potential challenges and ensures a smooth transition. This includes engaging in diplomatic efforts to manage any fallout, investing in Ghana's defense capabilities, and fostering strong partnerships with neighboring countries. Ghana's decision to close U.S. military bases signifies a paradigm shift in African geopolitics, marking the end of an era dominated by Western military presence on the continent. This bold move reflects a growing Pan-African sentiment that calls for greater control over their own destiny and resources. By prioritizing its national interests and severing ties with U.S. military bases, Ghana sends a powerful message to the world that it will no longer tolerate foreign exploitation and interference. This decision resonates with other African nations seeking to chart their own paths to development and assert their sovereignty on the global stage. As Ghana takes this monumental step towards self-reliance, it sets an inspiring example for the rest of Africa, demonstrating that African countries have the power to shape their own futures and break free from the shackles of neocolonialism. What are your thoughts on Ghana's decision to close all U.S. military bases on its soil? Do you think this move will have a positive or negative impact on the country's foreign relations and security? Share your perspectives in the comments below. We value your opinions and encourage open discussions on this important topic. If you found this video informative and thought-provoking, please support us by hitting that like button. Your support means a lot to us and motivates us to continue delivering quality content on African politics. Don't forget to subscribe for more updates on African news. Stay tuned for more insightful videos on African politics. Thank you for watching, and let's continue the conversation.